I pulled a muscle in my leg dancing because I'm old and falling into advanced decrepitude, but I had a
You
blast.
you didn't stretch before you danced?
I, I, every time I stand up, I'm stretching. It's, it's a fucking challenge, man.
No, it looked like the people who like Pickathon had a really good time. So
It was, I haven't gone in a couple years. I think the last time I was there was 2023. And each year is a little different. And this year there were a lot more younger people, which was kind of cool. One of my favorite bands, maybe my favorite set of the entire festival, was a Los Angeles based band called the Altons. They were fucking phenomenal. And there are kids who are just jamming out to it. And I'm like, right on. This is some generational shit going on here, right?
good.
Had some great conversations with a bunch of kids that looked pretty straight laced, named Mordecai and Ezekiel and like that. And I'm like, yeah, my name's Kip. Here's two unique names. And we all fist bumped. And, so there was some cool shit going on there, man.
There's not
Um,
many people named Ezekiel in this world.
no, I could be wrong about the names. It's just that's what my brain remembers. They definitely had a biblical inspiration. So
It's better than the protest names when they were naming themselves after food. And it's like, my name is Dill. You have to go talk to Brisket. You got to go talk to Chicken. And I'm like, I can't. Do you understand my reports? The things I write down that in theory could go to court. I have to write
has
down, I
anybody
talked
seen
to Red
cumin?
Pepper.
Has
Yeah,
anybody
no.
seen cumin around?
Yeah, I have to talk to Red Pepper and Cumin, and then Brisket was over here filming the cops, and Dill was over there, and it's like, oh,
Brisket Johnson, how do you plead?
this
Um,
is like,
that
folks,
reminds me.
better names, please.
That reminds me of a Stu Sugarman story. A really good friend of mine was kettled and arrested and released, but had an arraignment date. And when everybody who was kettled showed up that morning for their arraignment, if they pleaded no contest, they were let go.
Mm-hmm.
No charges, nothing else. Just have to plead no contest. And my friend, I connected them with Stu, and my friend got up there and pleaded not guilty. And the judge was like, "Sir, you do realize that if you just plead no contest, you can just go." He's like, "I'm pleading not guilty." It's like, "Okay, do you have representation?" And he goes, "I do have representation." Like, who is representing you? And my friend said, "Stu Sugarman." And the judge went, "Okay, not guilty. Next." We'll see you in court in 2 weeks.
Jesus.
But I love that the judge just sighed, like, oh, this isn't going to end well. This is going to be bad for the prosecution. And I think his charges were dropped that day. Rightfully so, right? And that's why he pled not guilty to begin with. So
I'm looking at your window, and I can
it's
see
orange.
how hazy it is. Your window normally is not that fuzzy.
No, it's not a fuzzy window. It's kind of
No.
orange and gray out.
Yep.
If you can hear, it sounds like I have a cold. I just can't breathe. It's the air is terrible this morning.
Do you get asthma attacks when it's like this?
I get, I haven't had like a full blown asthma attack, but I have breathing, I have like reactive airway issues.
Okay.
So I've been loaded up on Sudafed this morning, not going outside. I'm working from home today because traveling and walking through air is a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
Breathing seems terribly overrated at the moment.
This means
Um,
Walden doesn't get to go in the yard at all.
we are not going for a walk today. No. I mean, if he really demands it, I'll mask up. But
Still.
the problem is not so much the 2.5 particle count, which is what the AQI is based on, but the zero point zero 0.03 particle count. Let me see if I can bring that up right now. I have an air quality monitor in my backyard because I live in North St. John's and things are
Our
terrible.
phones actually have one too on the weather app.
This is my backyard 2.5. and the safe levels are down below near the 50,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly safe. So the EPA has stated that there is no safe level of 0.03 particulate matter in the air. Just any is dangerous, right?
No, we're
But
at 32.
normally it's pretty low. Right
Yeah,
now, this is showing about 3,700.
that's what I'm seeing too. The weather app on my iPhone also now breaks down all the particulate matters
Oh
and
wow.
stuff. It's been, yeah, it's a new feature. And I was like, oh, this is good. So you can actually see, like, oh, here's the carbon dioxide, here's other stuff. And then the ones that actually count from wildfire smoke start showing up. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. I saw that you had shared that Mount Meadows is under a level 3 evacuation.
And the other
Um,
part is now under Clackamas County now has a level 1 get ready to go outside of that area too. So it's just,
and
it's,
Warm
you
Springs
know,
and Sisters has been
mhm.
under this for weeks already.
Spokane.
Eastern Spokane, yeah, Spokane's just apparently it looks like it was arson.
Yes, and that person apparently shot his father years ago and was convicted of that.
Yeah, over dishes.
Yes.
I
Um,
mean, if you're going to get into an argument with somebody, dishes seems reasonable, murdering
sure,
them less so.
sure.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a fire out in the Dalles right now too.
Well, it's a good thing that we have competent leadership federally because otherwise we'd really be in trouble with the firefighting and possibly, I mean, if we didn't have the competent leadership, the 23 states could possibly be having explosive diarrhea right now. Oh, wait.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
Well,
wait.
and his threat of I'm not going to give you FEMA money because you're too blue. And it's like you
Well,
realize this is a reflection. What is happening is a reflection on you, regardless of whether or not you like the
yeah.
particular state.
Well, all the documentation came out in the last couple of days, apparently, that grants did not go to blue states specifically. We knew that just anecdotally, but now they have a paperwork trail, which is penally illegal.
Yeah,
So
because
they're
it's all based
actually
on animosity.
yeah, so they're actually forced to start reevaluating and releasing stuff, whether it'll happen or not because some people just don't give a shit about laws or anything. I fought the law and the Nazis won.
And we're just going to keep having more fires and no way to
And
control it.
explosive diarrhea. Well,
And
if we could
and
just
if you're in Portland, we're going to have a factory go on fire that has been abandoned for how many years?
not abandon, one thought. If we can coordinate the explosive diarrhea with the fires,
You
we have
think
frontline, we would have,
defense?
yeah, just
That's
aim.
disgusting.
I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's talk about Centennial Mills that was sold a few years ago at pennies on the dollar through Prosper Portland to a development firm that then didn't develop it and flipped it and sold it to Stuart Lindquist,
I was
who
going to
owns the
say,
ice facility, who's been sitting on it and it has plans to build condos, even though 20 years ago, there was a really well received plan to turn that into a waterfront park space.
that
And
would have been pretty.
that would have been fantastic and preserved some of the history of the building and structures. And that plan failed just because it couldn't get through the approval process because the powers that be wanted it developed. So they squashed it. So the
It could have
idea
been
that
a little bit of both. It could have
it could
been
have
kind of
been
like what
all
we
of the
have.
above.
Yeah, it could have been a wonderful parkway, kind of like what you see in other cities.
Yeah.
I'm specifically thinking of Brooklyn Heights Promenade with some apartments or houses or condos, whatever you want. We could have had both if they would just get their shit together. What I find interesting is, here's an empty place, and of course there's a fire, and the first thing you blame is homeless people. And it's like, you know what? They're not the only ones who are in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of kids who goof around in there. There's a lot of other people. There's, sometimes secret disco parties. All this bullshit happens. It could have been any of the above
Well,
reasons.
also, if you own the property, you're responsible for securing it.
No, no. I mean, here's the thing about this city. All these properties that are empty. I mean, we've seen, even when I was doing the House of Louis, Menashe, Lindquist, all these people have these properties. They don't develop them. They don't even push for it. They don't even try
No.
very hard. And the question is why? And the answer is because tax write-offs.
Yeah.
There's no incentive to actually either knock it down, build it, or, try and rent out something.
I was
So we have
just
all these
discussing this
dead,
last
empty.
night. Yep.
Yeah, just dead buildings.
And the solution is eminent domain. That
If and when that gets off,
Well, but that's where our legislators could do some actual good is if a property sits fallow for X number of years, then you are given a warning. You have 6 months to come up with a plan for it and start implementing it, or we take it from you.
Right, but the plan can't just be, oh, we're going to build apartments or we're going to put in a
No, it
mall
can't be.
because
It
it
has to
doesn't.
be within a context of what does the city need. You can't just do whatever the fuck you want anymore
And what
because
makes
guess what?
sense for that
Yeah,
particular building in that particular area? Because we
right.
do need housing, but, housing in some parts of Portland would make no fucking sense.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about the land at 72nd and Killingsworth that's been fallow for 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
That has a fire every 6 months because the partially built buildings provide slight amount of shelter, but it's all scrub brush. So you do get unhoused people who break down the fence and move in there and try to make a little shelter, and it's all scrub brush. So somebody who's trying to cook food for themselves or whatever, stay warm, is going to start a small brush fire. Willamette Week was running a great series about properties that are just being sat upon for tax write-offs that for 10 years or more. I haven't seen one of those stories in a while. Maybe somebody on the Schmidt show crew were like, hey, this isn't good for the developers. Stop doing it.
Yeah, what they ran recently was that apparently Councilor Mitch Green did a little brush fire in his backyard to burn some stuff. So the fire department showed up this weekend, even though there's a
Wait,
burn ban.
what?
Yep, that's what the Willamette Week ran. And it's like, Mitch.
And when I say Schmidt show people, I mean the people who started the whole Portland is a Schmidt show campaign. I can't remember their names.
Dan
Not
Levy.
our buddy Mike Schmidt, who has a great podcast that you all should go listen to.
It was
After Hours.
It was People for Portland people.
People for Portland. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Willamette Week right now, the story pretty much goes, when you have a backyard full of junk and you burn it a little bit. So I guess Green did that. Somebody called the fire department because they saw flames. And when they showed up, he was already putting it out. And it's like, dude, we all know you probably had it under control. I can assume you did, but.
He's very meticulous.
But dude.
So, and this just goes to show that
the rules got to apply to you too. I'm sorry.
It got to apply to everybody, and we are fair about our criticisms. We have the same targets most of the time because most of the time those targets are awful, right? But when one of the folks that we generally agree with 97% of the time goes off track, off into the wrong area, and we'll call them out on that shit.
So Willamette Week, of course, ran with it because Willamette Week.
Oh, that's a headline. Yeah, that's a headline.
And he's up for re-election, and there's a burn ban, and the wildfires are doing this, and the haze is doing this, and meanwhile, here's Mitch Green burning whatever you burn in your backyard, leaves. I don't know what the fuck you burn, and it's like, mistake.
Yeah, but people are fallible. It's just if you're constantly fallible and you don't learn from it or do the right thing or are intentionally fallible, we have a problem. And we're going to kvetch about you.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone makes a mistake. I made a mistake last week. I said I insulted somebody and I shouldn't have. It happened. I was angry.
You insulted somebody. No.
And it was, I shouldn't, this one I really shouldn't have, but then I caught myself as soon as I could and I tried to repair it and it didn't work. But you know what? That's few and far between in terms of like really insulting somebody.
No.
Like, not just the
Uh,
usual shit on here. And it
yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Well, it's our job to insult people
It
on
is.
here.
It
So,
happened.
and
I
we get
tried to
paid
own it.
handsomely for it. Oh, wait, no, we don't.
No, we don't. I tried to own it. I apologized as best I could, but it was not able to be repaired, or she chose not to repair it, so we no longer speak.
Maybe that'll change in the future. I hope so for your sake.
I would like that too, but we don't know. So,
Yeah.
this week it's just kind of like, okay, how much more can happen? We have haze. I have a headache. My air purifier has been a red dot all day
Yeah.
instead of green. Maybe I should just drive my car. We talked about stress. Maybe I'll just drive my car into a wall.
Yeah, that won't help with the air quality.
No.
Or your headache actually. But
It might. It might distract me from my headache. It's like, oh,
sure, yeah, multiple compound fractures like, hey,
instead.
not noticing
Yes.
my headache any longer.
No, what headache?
So,
It's
um
it's been one of those things where it's like, I could run away. Can I run away? I can't run anywhere. It's wildfire everywhere. I can't go up to Washington. It's too smoky.
yeah.
Can't go to Mount Hood. Everyone's
Yeah.
evacuating.
I'm supposed to have an overnight camp next Wednesday, but anyway, I'm hoping beyond hope that it's going to be under control and clear by then. So
It depends. I mean, who knows?
I
Who
really
knows at
hope
this
so.
point?
So, folks out there, this is not a kvetch. This is your advance notice that the Perseid meteor shower. It's going to be the heaviest days are 12th, 13th, and 14th, I think. And on the 12th, we have a new moon. So, if you have a place that's even slightly dark, like your backyard, you'll be able to see meteors falling, unless we're under a haze of smoke and a
Hmm.
cyclo explosive diarrhea.
Which then means you're not going to see anything,
Cyclo?
and you should not leave your house.
No, no. If it is raining, it's like I don't know the name of it.
I have not tried to pronounce it out loud.
Cyclospora.
Yeah, that thing.
Cyclospora. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stop
Well,
saying the other word. Cyclospora covering the sky. You can't see the meteors.
I don't want
I'm
that
so
covering
sorry.
the sky.
I'm so sorry.
What?
I just like I just
Jesus Christ.
John Oliver Sunday night did a great bit about what Taco Bell should put out there as a commercial. And basically, it's like, hey, yeah, no, we pulled the lettuce from all our meals so you can still have just the regular kind of diarrhea that our food
Mhm.
gives.
That's, yeah. Sometimes I am shocked that Taco Bell has stayed in business, but then I shouldn't talk because I do like White Castle, and you know that.
Yeah, which I mean, my opinion of you still is lower because of that. But I will say, no, I'll say back in the day when
It's
I
a
was,
unique tasting thing. I didn't say it was gourmet.
it is unique tasting. That is true. I
And you
had
get some
white.
sliders, some fries, some onion rings, and a milkshake. It's the best shit in the
I used
world.
to like Nathan's hot dogs, so I
I
guess
also like
I
Nathan's hot
can't
dogs.
speak about it. But I was also 9 years old, and it's what my parents gave me, so it's not my
I'm
fucking
49
fault.
years old and I still like Nathan's hot dogs.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that. No, when I was super poor and unhoused, the only thing you could get a bean and cheese burrito for, I think it was like 69 cents then. It was
Yeah.
edible, and it was vegetarian because their beans had been vegetarian. The only thing you couldn't do was the sour cream because it had gelatin in it back then. I don't know if it does now, but I lived largely off 7-layer burritos without sour cream and bean and cheese burritos because I could fill up for less than $2.
They were also
So,
bigger then, and I have a feeling not as many preservatives
oh,
as now.
probably. Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure back then they were definitely healthier, and they weren't healthy then.
So whatever's in it now seems even worse because they're very strange. When I was delivering for Grubhub, I would just be like, "This looks different," and it was like, "Oh, it smells weird." It was like, "This looks like this is like cat food wrapped in a burrito."
It's probably better. Or, I mean, cat food's probably better.
Oh, the cat food probably is. At least the brand I buy my cats. It's like
Well,
shit. This,
same.
yeah, it's like
You
this is
know,
better than some of the shit I probably eat.
yeah, it's definitely.
But what else is there to complain about? So much, so much.
I'm depressed that you haven't noticed.
Oh, I noticed.
You haven't made any hippie comments. I was
Well,
gonna.
last week you had the Superman curl. Now you have this. I mean, how
You
many,
kinda.
you know,
It's just a little hanging
yeah, I
with the
know.
hippies. I was gifted a little lavender sprout to stick in my head.
It's like an antenna.
Yeah, kind of. I'm getting.
Picks up the waves of the next hippie
If I
fest.
step outside, I get attacked by hummingbirds.
You might.
What else? Let's talk for a moment about complex and challenging, and no side is right or wrong fully, but let's talk about the daddy thing. I've heard from people I respect and like greatly that the potential connotations of the daddy comment were beyond inappropriate, even though I do not believe that any of the connotations of middle-aged white man and middle-aged black woman, that any of those connotations or inferences were intended whatsoever. Because the daddy comment that
The people who brought that up, what color are they?
black
Hmm.
and elders
And they saw it as a slave reference?
potentially,
Interesting.
not potentially, as a direct reference. That totally inappropriate. And in that light, I am no one to argue against that, because when I heard Brooklyn Tech Bros, I was one of the only people that made an inference of that being
No, I know.
anti-Semitic, right? Anti-Jewish.
Or
So
at least it lands that way for you.
it lands that way for me. So, and there was an apology made. I appreciate Angelita for walking that back some, but I want to put out there, I understand and respect that position, but I cannot, in any sense of it, believe that was intentional, because it wasn't directed at Counselor Smith initially. Is directed at City Council initially. But
it was directed at the whole city council to break the tie. So
right.
No, it wasn't directed at any of the black counselors. And let's remind everyone there's two.
Right. Yes. And they're in the same district.
And can I understand where that comes from? Absolutely. There's mammy and daddy and all that shit, right? But this was more about the paternalism of the council dynamics. So
Yes.
even though I could see like, ooh, that makes owner and slave, or daddy's in charge and I'm whoever, the thing is that
it wasn't intended like that. And I
no,
don't,
and
I
it
don't think you
doesn't
can make.
hold.
No, it
Quite.
doesn't in my mind either. But I have to give deference to people who have put up with stuff like that for their entire lives.
Oh, sure. And it could be a micro that we don't know.
Yeah. So I'm going to give Angelita benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the folks that were deeply, deeply offended the benefit of the doubt. And I'm going to just state for the record, for my own brain, that it was an unfortunate comment in a heated moment. And I hope that everybody can get beyond it and understand where everybody's coming from and say, I accept that, I've learned from it, I can move forward.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, though, in black culture, daddy also means like dating. Like there still is like a daddy thing.
Well, it's also a Kojak thing, but he was
But I
Greek.
mean, but in modern slang with dating, primarily non-white, it's like, hi, daddy. Hi, Poppy.
I don't, Poppy, I've heard Poppy before.
Well, Poppy
but
is
more ironically than.
nope.
No, okay.
Nope. Nope.
All
Nope.
right,
You're getting it on, and you either go, daddy, or you go, hey, Poppy, and I get this. So I may, I don't know what's going. We could break it down so many different ways.
That's worse. You just made everything far worse. So,
kind of like those text messages we got years ago where Wheeler and Hardesty were texting and she was taking a bath and told him.
I don't know anything about that, and I wish I had not that knowledge now.
Do you want me to send them to you? I have them.
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
you sure?
No, I don't. I believe you, and I don't need proof of things that are disturbing in my brain.
Well, and then do you remember when?
I have enough disturbing in my brain. Are you going to continue with more disturbing?
Yeah, things? And then do you remember when his iPhone messages, a whole pile of them were missing?
Oh
because
yeah.
of the whole, yeah, it was around that time. So that was when I started doing like public record requests and going for the text messages and metadata and all that. And it was like, and it's just them talking, not necessarily even about work. And you could tell they were having good banter, but sometimes it was like, ew. And there was nothing meant of it. It was not like it was flirting. It was not like it was whatever, but just be
Well,
like, oh, I'm taking a bath finally after a long day. And it was like, oh, don't tell him that.
yeah, don't share that. Don't.
No, it's like nobody needs to know he went to a
I mean,
Mexican
I could see
restaurant or
that
dated
saying,
that crazy DJ.
hey, you're texting me, you're annoying me. I'm about to take a bath after a long day. Shut the fuck up. I could see that being valid.
That would be different. But this was like, just good banter. Like obviously they got along here and there. And it was like,
Mm,
oh my Lord.
I'm sure they got along. Ted's an interesting guy. I met and had several conversations with him, short ones, when I worked in City Hall, and I really liked him. He was approachable, which was a big deal. Big deal. Did I always agree with him? No. Did he actually come in with daddy vibes saying, I'm disappointed in you, Portland, during the 2020 protests? He absolutely fucking did.
He had moments.
That was a bad
Sometimes he
that
was
was a
better.
bad moment.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna punish you now. And
Well, there
that's
was
your
that point, but
and that's where the whole gas me Teddy thing
yeah.
came from, which I still find it subjectively funny. But
I mean, he waffled a lot because he'd be like, I don't want the feds here. And then he'd be like, unmask the Antifa. And I was like, oh, Lord. And then it was like, now there's a curfew. But the curfew actually was Hardesty. It wasn't him. He wasn't even in town that weekend. She dropped the curfew.
I didn't even know that.
Yep. And then he came in and he was like, curfew sounds great. And then it was like, gas me, Teddy. Gas me, Daddy. That's why this is not as cut and dry.
No, nothing is really. And that's why you can't look at things without multiple lenses. And I mean,
and it's hard because when you feel as if that's been there, it's like, oh, that there's definitely a validity to how that can land, especially when you look at the racial dynamic. I mean, like, there's been moments where I felt that I was being challenged by other Asian people simply because I'm Asian, and other people are like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'm like, yes, because in some dynamics, people want to maintain being the only Asian in a group.
Yeah.
Like I'm the special whatever, and so everyone's really like treats me differently or whatever. They're trying to not be racist, so they fluff this one up. And then in I walk, and then it's like, oh no, I might have to share this pedestal, and it's like, I don't even want your pedestal, bitch. And I get treated like shit, and I point it out, and they're like, I don't see that. That she's so nice, and it's like, no, she's actually not.
Yeah, no,
So
I
who
mean,
knows?
in political circles, all normality is off the table,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
it's like
too
high
bad.
school.
It's like it is. It's like an abdication of humanity, right? It's like everything has to be positioning and self-importance, and almost no one goes after these jobs who
Mm-mm.
doesn't have a outsized sense of self, which is why I kind of love this city council, because at least for the most part initially most of the people were not those people. Do they have a political mindset that, like, yeah, I am a good person to go into this space?
Right.
Hey, mister, what's going on? Walden finally woke up. Now he's going to start yelling at me. They're in it for all the right reasons, regardless of what kind of intentions they have going forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that's been brought up recently, is that once you're up on the dais and you've been there for a while, your sense of self changes.
I
And
could
you
see
see
that.
that over and over again, and it's not always a bad thing. There was an episode of West Wing that I fucking love that I wish everybody should be forced to watch. It's where Martin Sheen as President Bartlett, where there's a death penalty case, right? And he, as president of the United States, could have issued out of cycle pardon and
Mm-hmm.
saved this man's life. And he agonizes over it. He talks to a bunch of people. He prays to God, and he doesn't hear an answer. And the execution goes forward. And
Mm-hmm.
then Carl Malden plays a bishop or archbishop and comes to the White House to talk with President Bartlett. And Martin Sheen goes, well, in this office, I think you should call me Mr. President. I have to keep in that mindset, and rather than Jeb, which is real name. It's like, okay, Mr. President, that's fine. He's like, so what did you want to talk about? And Bartlett talks about how he's been agonizing over
Mhm.
this. And he's like, what do you mean you didn't hear from God? You had senators come to you, you had people come to you, you had priests and rabbis come to you, you had answers and you just didn't listen to them. And Martin Sheen stops for a second, and then Carl Mullen's like, "Okay, Jeb, would you like to talk directly now, or something to that effect?" It was a moment of get off your fucking pedestal, remember who the fuck you are. That sticks with me because I've had those lessons in other ways over the years, including my mentor, who told me at the outset of my politics and activism that you're a young white guy. People have literally died fighting for the things that you're trying to represent now. You don't get to fuck it up. And that set me on a path. But I wish more people would be that contemplative.
Well, I think, and this is true for me too, certain jobs attract certain personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And I first started saying that when we talked about like what kind of person becomes a cop, what kind of
Mm-hmm.
person becomes a security guard. And, you know, the joke is you peaked in high school, but I think there's a certain sort of aggressive personality type, or certain sort of,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to go get the bad guys and all this stuff. And I get to
I
have a
like
gun.
I like being authoritative. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's other people who they go to the job and they become that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are people I've met who got into law enforcement because they wanted to try and protect people who do not have protection. But then you get stuck in the day to day. You get stuck in the mindset. You see
And the
people on their
culture.
worst day all the time.
Yep.
And you're like, this traffic stop, he could pull a gun and shoot me in the chest, you know,
Yep.
or breaking up this car takeover. One of them could have a gun and shoot me in the chest. I mean, I understand this. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying it's great. Then who do you become as that cop? You
Yep.
become the cop where everyone's an enemy combatant.
Yeah.
Same happens with people who become lawyers. Some of them want fucking power. They want control. They want to be whatever. Other people just want to do the good stuff and like protect and be a defense attorney. And we all love them, except then they get bombarded and they burn out and no one appreciates the fuck out of them. And everyone thinks,
Yeah.
oh, you should have done better. Or you get the white savior who's like, oh, case number 25, just plead guilty and we'll take the guilty plea and it'll be a lesser sentence, because they can't understand why this black kid is doing A, B, and C, or why this, you know, or why this
Mm-hmm.
homeless guy set this thing on fire. And it's like, well, he didn't mean to. He was trying to get warm. Well, just take the guilty plea and we'll get out of jail. Like, but the thing is, certain personalities become certain things. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't want to be a lawyer. Sometimes I still don't want to be a lawyer, but
I feel that way about being an IT guy, but
yeah, but I'm good at problem solving. I'm good at moving very fast. I
yeah,
move way too fast sometimes, where people are like, I'm not done processing, and I've yelled process faster
yeah, yeah,
because I'm sorry, we don't have fucking time.
yeah. In the same boat here, and it's funny. Even in the IT world, you get engineers who are like, "Well, I'm the subject matter expert here. Your opinion doesn't matter." I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but you're wrong. What do you want to do about this?" Right? Like,
Yeah.
well, though that's our policy. I'm like, all right, let's change the policy. It's like, well, we can't change the policy. That's how we do things. I'm like,
Well, if we
you're
change the
doing
policy, I
things
have to learn how to
wrong.
rethink because I don't know how to think. I've been taught how to
Because
think this
nothing
way.
has changed in IT in 40 years, right? You know, I mean, it's a
But that's the
well,
thing. If you end up in a political position or a public political position, like a counselor, like a commissioner, the thing is you either become part of the typical politician, you can
yeah,
become one of them, or you can try and remain true to who you are. But that takes a lot. And if you don't have the capacity to, you know, check yourself, basically,
yeah.
you're going to make mistakes. Do I think Councilor Murillo made a mistake with her comment? I personally do not. Can I see how it may have impacted some other people or made them remember that there can be a white-black dynamic? Sure. Do
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly? No, but I'm also not black, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm of the same mindset. Like, I understand where the comment was coming from. I found it funny.
Mm-hmm.
The aftermath of it, reasonable or not, whatever, however you want to subject yourself to, is unfortunate regardless. And the dynamic on the dais has been so, what's the word? Aggressive, acerbic. Acerbic? I need a dictionary. I need my intern. Oh, I don't have an intern. I have a cat. has been just really aggressive. The sniping
I
back
feel
and
like once
forth.
a year it becomes very aggressive between Councilor Avalos, Councilor Smith, Councilor Mario, and then it eventually kind of calms down and goes back. But we've
I'm
seen this
hoping
dynamic before where they're
yeah,
not sitting with each other or somebody's from home or like there's just like this thing. And it's like, I
they
get it, but this is
they
not good.
represent different constituencies, and each of them need to respect that. But you can't just mow over other people, which led to Avalos turning off Smith's mic,
Hmm.
which in almost any other situation, and maybe partially in this one, is not appropriate. But if you can't actually work within the parameters that you're supposed to be working in, even if you're offended. I mean, we've seen, like, in, I think it was Hungary, I've seen fist fights in parliament, right?
Hmm.
Where they start beating the shit out of each other. Don't want that. It shouldn't get to that point of things.
No, but you know what? Then Smith cannot do what she does, which I mean
No, that
that is
that
her that's her one playing
she
card.
was way out of line, and the outsized response from that are exactly that, a response from that, right?
And it's a frustration that's been building for nearly 2 years. That's the thing, because she over and over again is allowed to ask questions, kind of bottlenecks the system. Then it turns into, you don't like me because I'm fighting for this part of Portland or I'm fighting for these people. And it's like, you're not the only one doing that. And then she's like, no, I am. And then it becomes this little battle and she
Yeah.
cuts people off and she asks for a point of order. And she always wants order when it's somebody else. But when it's her, she wants to interrupt your ass and she wants to ask the same question over and over again. And then she's like, I don't like that answer. I think we need the mayor. I think the mayor should be here. The mayor is the one who, and it's like, no, no. Why are you so up the mayor's ass? What are you going to gain?
This is,
What's the
well,
promise that was made behind closed doors?
yeah, that's a good question too. I'll restate this because I say this frequently. I want to see people become their better selves in their jobs, in their persons, right? When I saw things going south when I worked in City Hall, I'd first attribute it to newness, fear, confusion, trying to get your
Sometimes
bearings, all this other shit. And within a few weeks, I'm like, oh no, most of you all who I'm working with don't give a fuck about what we campaigned on. You
no,
just wanted to be in a position of power that paid well.
it's ego.
And that's why, within 3 months, I was gone.
I was going to call out somebody, but maybe I shouldn't.
I was just I don't care. I was just gonna say,
Just because everyone knows the stories.
I'll give people the benefit of the doubt until you prove me for sure wrong, but I'm not seeing any kind of attrition on the quote unquote "moderate" side of things.
No.
I only see people apologizing on the quote unquote "left" side of things, and guess what? Our leftist policies are not so much left, they're just really fucking common sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the moderate stuff is the same old shit. That is why we're in the position we're in now.
But that's
But
the dynamic that always exists, where it's like the dominant culture
yeah,
gets offended and then says, I've been hurt, I've been this. And then the less dominant culture is the one who is made out to be the bad guy or has to apologize. Or if it's a race thing, or if it's an age thing, or whoever it is.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, because I lost my shit and finally said something. Now I'm in the wrong. And it's like, no, Council Maria was not in the wrong in their frustration. And honestly, in some of the ways that they've been hinting at that for a year.
yeah. I would like to see a acknowledgement on all sides that
Mm-hmm.
this is not healthy, and that we need to abide by our practices, and that we can advocate ferociously for our constituents in ways that are not insulting other people or cutting
No.
people off or being belligerent.
No, I mean, was it healthy when Councilor Guinea told Canal to fuck off?
So
Was it healthy
not
when Ryan
particularly.
says that homeless people, if they really wanted to, they would get a job?
Yeah, no, none of that's. I mean, if that's your position, please state it out loud so we know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I
You know, the
was
shit that makes the news and the shit that doesn't.
I was super amused that the one ordinance has gone through city council most efficiently after maybe 11 minutes of discussion and debate was Zimmerman's electric car station installation one. Because guess what? It was small, it was accurate, and it was hard to argue against. There's no reason to argue against it.
No.
Although the reason a lot of electrical stations don't work is not because of shoddy workmanship. The reason these stations don't work is because people steal the copper,
I
is
was
most of the
wondering.
time.
I was
Yeah.
wondering. Yeah.
I've pulled up to a station like in Tacoma that had like 6 stations. Only 2 of them were operational because the hoses were cut. And I'm like, who's walking up to fucking 240-volt thing and chainsawing through something? I'm guessing wearing rubber gloves. That is the biggest reason they don't work. It's not because they're being put in poorly, but still, I'm glad it went through after like 2 3-minute debates and a 3-minute vote.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some efficient legislating like that, and everybody be cordial about it.
Well, is that the Portland way normally?
No,
Exactly. Also, earlier when you were talking
everybody
about,
do better. God, anyway.
well, I know. I would like a lot of people to do better professionally, personally. Yeah. Earlier when you were talking about eminent domain, the other thing is that Portland doesn't do eminent domain because, come on, Kip, that would actually be like aggressive.
We've done it 9 or 10 times, or
But
not
we
9
are,
or 10 on 9 or 10 properties out of the 8,000 plus out there that are zombie
yeah, and
homes.
it's really uncomfortable, and let's give them some grace.
Yeah, well,
Because that's the Portland way, isn't it? Passive. Oh, one more year. Well, maybe they'll
Portland
fix
nice.
it this year.
Don't be nice. Be kind,
No,
but be
no.
smart about your shit.
We're going to be nice, and then we're going to run away from conflict because that's uncomfortable. Hey, can you just fix that abandoned building you got? Okay, great, thanks, bye. Not you stupid motherfucker. Fuck your taxes. Do something with this building. Our city's looking like a fucking ghost town. Can you figure it out?
We haven't. They've been debating a non-occupancy tax, right? How about a fallow development tax?
And do the
That
same on the houses. If you got a
you
zombie
buy,
house, fuck you.
yeah, you buy a property or a house and you don't rent it out or fix it within 1 year. You have to submit a plan of what you're doing with it, and if you don't act on it, you start being fined.
Well,
And after 5 years, 3 years, we take it from you
right.
because we have an urban growth boundary. We have a housing emergency that's still in place from 2017. Nobody ever lifted, I could say words, the housing emergency. We're still under it. Nobody
Oh, no,
acts
I
on
know.
it.
Well, we can have those rules and we can try and do these things but you have to write it well enough so that people can't necessarily find the loophole. You know that big empty plot on Alberta in like 20 something where a house used to be? It's on the corner of
Yeah.
Alberta.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is one of the many zombie houses, right, that had popped up. And they've been working on that plot for a while. And I had wondered because it used to be an abandoned house and then suddenly it was knocked down and then it's a big hole. And I thought they were rebuilding it. It turns out they've done shit, right? Showed up on the council's list like a month ago. And I was deathly curious because like, who owns it? What's going on? Is it actually being developed? The answer is that it's still stuck in this whole limbo because now the plot of land has been transferred to a minor. And that gets you out of a lot of things.
That shit, fuck
like
that noise.
Kip, if you were in trouble, transfer your shit to a 12-year-old.
The more I learn, the more actual communism sounds better.
So, I mean, what are we going to do with this poor child
I'm
who
kidding.
doesn't,
I don't like
no, I know, but it's like, so now, and we can't take this like little kid and throw him in fucking jail.
No, well, you start finding the kid. You start taking his Pez away and his bicycle and
no,
skateboard.
whatever this is. I mean, like if this land sold, this kid is like set. But the thing is, you can't start finding the kid. He has no. It's tied up in the asset.
Not.
So it's like, so then what is the city going to do? Nothing. And here we are. And the lawyer working with it is like, oh, we're still moving forward. And it's like, how much do you charge?
Yeah, seriously. How much are you making for
good
them to have
loophole. And how much did you make off of that? And it's like, why didn't I go into a state law? Why didn't I go into sneaky slimy? Oh, because I'm not sneaky slimy. I'm actually too fucking honest to the point where it gets me in trouble all the time.
Yeah. Well, why are you doing that?
I don't know. That's why I'm going to drive my car into a wall. Full circle, and we're done. I'll just eat popcorn for dinner.
Popcorn for dinner actually sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah, it's too hot to actually cook.
I'm actually, I'm gonna make some tea that my friend from Salt Lake City gave me that is moline, and some other herbs in it and opens you up, breathing wise because
Okay.
while breathing is overrated, it's also still very useful. I mean, if you want to get shit done, it's necessary.
I mean, if you want to keep moving around, if you don't want to continue breathing, there's
Mm.
a plastic bag for that.
There is, and shouldn't even joke about it, but breathing is overrated nonetheless. Especially in this fucking air, man. You see
I
that
know.
out there? You do.
I know.
It
No,
is
and I
bad.
have an orangey sky, and you have more of the sun yellowy fuzz. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
depending what part of
sun's
Portland you're
gone
in.
around the corner a little bit, so now it's just gray yellow.
Yeah, I have the
What's
weird haze with some beams running through it. It really does remind me of 2020 when we had all the wildfire smoke come through. Except this is worse. This is actually worse.
the house I was living in at the time, landlord, what a turned out to be a garbage human being. They were a friend, or so I thought, but it was a 90-year-old house. I'm in a 90-year-old house, but it's been upgraded. The windows actually closed. I had to have on top of my little portable room filters, had to have box fans with a HEPA filter taped to it
Mm-hmm.
running through the middle of the house. And after about 4 hours, it was like near black.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild how bad shape that house was in. And that's another thing that we could kvetch about is rental homes. And there's actually no way to
Oh my God. I could tell you about the first fucking
enforce
house I rented.
anything. Mold and air and yeah.
Cigarette smoke.
So yeah, everything they're all for all the quote unquote
Fleas.
rental rules put in place, none of them actually did fucking anything for anybody.
No, not for a long time. No, I've
No,
had
still not.
yeah, I've had places that I had to actually clean or fumigate or whatever. I've moved into places where there were fleas, even though there were no quote unquote pets
Yeah,
allowed
I've
until
had
my
that
cats.
happen.
You know, the apartment I'm in now is actually one of the nicest places I've been in, and
Yeah.
it's the same rental company I've rented from 3 times prior.
Mm.
I just kept going back. I'm like, overall, pretty good, you know?
My landlord. This is a fun story. Maybe we'll end on this. My landlord did just put a new roof on. Is it a
Okay.
fancy roof? It's not, but he put a new roof on, right? If there is a problem, I call him. He'll send somebody out to take a look at it.
That's all you
But
need.
the insurance company came by because I guess they do an eval every 5 years, and they were complaining about some of the shrubs being too close to the house. So I had to go out there and mow it down. And then he calls me yesterday, and he goes, "Hey, you have this sorry we're closed thing in your living room window." And the insurance company was like, "Is he running a business from there?" And I'm like, take a good look, zoom in on the picture. He goes, it says, sorry, not sorry that we're closed. We'll be back never. I'm like, yeah, it's a joke. He's like, so no business. I'm like, no, just tell them I'm being funny. And he's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand funny.
They don't, but it
They
cracks
don't.
me up. I also put a sign on the door that said waiting room.
That actually, you know what? You should keep that up and see if they get confused about that.
Yeah, I guess they didn't get a picture of that, but yeah, sorry, not sorry we're not open.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I
And
wrote
on
in
that note,
not with a Sharpie, so yeah.
you have to go back to business in your closed shop.
Oh, it's yeah, I gotta get back to my massage parlor and transmission repair business. Yeah.
I have to go do laundry.
Okay. Well, you do you. Actually, I have to
Yeah.
get back to work, so.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
Talk
I
to you
will talk to
later.
you later. Bye.
Be good.
Progress Portland is also on Facebook and Instagram, and we have event listings and updates on our website, progressportland.org. There's a content form on our website if you'd like to help out or have questions or comments. Our theme music is by the Portland band Helvetia.